Hi, I am Tony Russo from Destination Delmarva, and this is the final episode of our Ocean City Film Festival 10th Anniversary Retrospective. Episode 4 is all about the future, and that is what we are calling it, the future. Now, if this is the first episode you're listening to, I'd recommend going back and listening to episodes 1, 2, and 3. You won't be lost. This stands well enough on its own, but it is also the cap of a story that we've been telling through clips and remembrances about what's the Ocean City Film Festival has been about. Before I get started, I do want to ask you to please subscribe to Destination Delmarva, the newsletter, and also specifically, if you're enjoying this, to Destination Delmarva, the filmmakers. Now, this is going to be a recurring podcast. It's gone so well, I'm going to continue to interview and publish interviews of filmmakers working on or from the Eastern Shore. I expect to kick this series off in the beginning of April, and I am looking for sponsors. So if you are or know someone who would like to sponsor a series about filmmakers on the Eastern Shore, you can reach out to me. My email is bytonyrusso@gmail.com. More in the show notes, and of course, I'll check back in at the end. But right now, let's get this final episode underway. Episode 4, The Future. It is Wednesday, March 4th, as I'm recording this, and the world is on fire. How appropriate, then, that the Ocean City Film Festival kicks off on March 5th. Making art is an act of hope. Hope that we can share a message and that that message will reach the right ears, and that hearing the message, at least one person's life gets better. In another few months, filmmakers will be back at the beach trying to shoot something for the Ocean City Film Festival's Summer Challenge. As you're listening to this, whenever that is, there's someone gathering up whatever friends they can convince to be part of a short film they've conceived. I hate to think of art as being for something, but when you see the next AI commercial hawking soda or bemoan the 70-year-old Chris Evans digitally de-aged and leading the Avengers once again, remember that there is good and interesting stuff. It's just not going to be handed to you. You have to go seek it out. The seeking is hard, and there's just as much original garbage as there is rehashed, rebooted, retold Hollywood trash. But the experience is better, and you're better for it. If art is for anything, it's for being seen, critiqued, and thought about. Small, interesting features and shorts are still being made, and for me, the future of the Ocean City Festival is the curation and celebration of this notion. People are finding ways to express themselves and inviting you to consider what that means. As you'll hear in what follows, the future of the Ocean City Film Festival is tied to the belief that short films are a thing unto themselves, and many filmmakers like it that way. Ocean City Film Festival Artistic Director B.L. Strang-Moya talks about the difference between what you're told about short films in college and what short films can and maybe should be.
You're basically told that you make a short film, and that short film is, in essence, your calling card. You take it to festivals, people can see what you're made of, and that's how you get big jobs on actual, union feature productions. I don't really like that thought process, and I don't like that format because it's like, why can't a short film be its own standalone enterprise? Where at the Ocean City Film Festival, that's a lot of what we see is these short films that are their own, standalone things.
And that core vision is one of the reasons that the Ocean City Film Festival continues to be successful and continues to get so many new and interesting and far-flung filmmakers. But it's also the reason that there is now a filmmaking community in Ocean City.
This was an idea that B.L. had, and he really brought it to the art center. And it's very much a dream of a young filmmaker, right? To start a film festival. And part of it, I think, is really protecting what is so honest and true and pure about B.L.'s dream, which is to have a film festival here in our community where he grew up, where his dreams of making films and my dreams of making films and all the other kids who grew up in this area, there's many of us, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's like the sort of preciousness of that dream of like a young filmmaker saying, I want to make a film festival and make a community, and the preciousness of the dream of the art league to like come from this very humble, we're an art league and now we're a center for the arts. Yeah, I think that is always going to be baked into the ethos of the film festival because of the Art Center and because of B.L.
Chelsea Thaler, who you just heard from, is one of many of the local kids who are into film and making film now. Trevor Thaler, who we're going to hear from next, actually just recently had a film accepted for the Golden Gate Film Festival out in California. But for him, it's the idea of having a place for independent film to thrive.
You know, we're sort of a almost like a last bastion for local, really independent artists, because a lot of times when film festivals get to their 10th year, they tend to get too big for their britches and they forget the little guy. And that's something that in Ocean City, we are the little guy. We want to always be the little guy because it's tough to get eyes on your work. And that experience I had in 2017 with my, little no budget feature film that I made with my buddies was such a fantastic experience for me as an artist and as a filmmaker, that I want as many people as possible to experience something like that. And I've seen that happen. And I've talked to filmmakers at the festival that are so appreciative to get eyes on their work, that it's so fulfilling every year to be able to help cultivate that sort of environment and that ecosystem that we've developed down there on the Eastern Shore. A lot of people haven't even been to the Eastern Shore before. They come from Jersey and New York and stuff like that, and they get to experience where I grew up. And at the same time, they get to share their art with strangers and people that are all there for the same reason. And it's really wonderful. I look forward to it every single year.
Art teacher Gwen Lehman sees the future of the art festival not just benefiting artists, but she sees how much it has done for the city and how much it can do for the city.
I think it has a bright future. I think the town of Ocean City, City Council, the mayor have embraced it. And I think the business people in town appreciate it because we do draw crowds from out of town who stay in motels and hotels and eat out at restaurants. There's a lot of reason to believe that this is something that can continue, and it may not be able to grow exponentially, but it can continue to grow at least to some degree.
For Rina Thaler, the executive director of the Ocean City Center for the Arts, it is about growing, but growing in the right way, in the way that supports the arts very, very fundamentally.
Well, I love for it to grow, but also keep the feel of being able to have emerging filmmakers have a platform to show their work. I'd love to see the audience members grow and to be able to bring people who never would have come to the film festival to watch the films, but then also being able to tell stories from local filmmakers and people from this area, like the, Emmy Shockleys and the Dave Messicks and so many others whose films that we've screened.
Trevor Thaler.
I see the Ocean City Film Festival being a staple of Maryland film. That's what I could hope for. There used to be the Maryland Film Festival itself. I think they kind of got washed away during COVID. And I think the Ocean City Film Festival can take up the mantle as being the go-to film festival for artists in Mid-Atlantic and up-and-coming artists and all ages,
For B.L., he sees the sky as the limit. He would love for this to be his regular thing that he does all year, which is maybe a little bit of a ridiculous dream, but so is the idea of having a film festival in Ocean City at all.
In 10 years, I would love for it to be my only source of income and a very comfortable source of income. But ultimately, I think the goal and the goal that I see exceeding year after year is just a more enhanced organizational approach to this whole thing. I mean, what really gets me high about this whole thing is like when the weekend actually comes and we're organized to a T and we're making things happen. It's like if anything comes up, like I got to drive 7 miles across the island to go put out a fire here. It's like we have such a committed and dedicated team of people who will just fight tooth and nail to make sure this thing happens. And that is just invaluable to me. And to see it strengthen season after season just means so much.
If you're listening in the future, you can always mark your calendar for the week before St. Patrick's Day, and that is when the Ocean City Film Festival is. As I mentioned before the show, I would love to continue this project. I will be publishing all of the interviews. There were a lot of people who told a lot of great stories that I just couldn't use. And I'm hoping that as filmmakers, they appreciate my conundrum. But I am going to run all of the interviews because they were all interesting and there were so many good stories. And then after that, I'm going to run some more. So if you are a filmmaker who either makes films about Delmarva or lives on Delmarva and makes films anywhere, I would love to hear from you. You can reach me through the show notes. You can email me at my email address, which is bytonyrusso@gmail.com. I'd love to produce this weekly if I can, and that's my eventual goal. As I also mentioned up front, we are happy to have any sponsors, and you can reach out to me about sponsorship opportunities on Destination Delmarva, the filmmakers, or Destination Delmarva generally. The Ocean City Film Festival 10th Anniversary Retrospective has been a Destination Delmarva production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. Thank you again to everyone who participated in this. I think it's been a great project, and I'm looking forward to all the other cool things we're going to do. As a final quick button for those of you who stayed all the way on, yes, this is out late because I have been sick, and this is the best I could get my voice before March 5th. So thank you for your patience for these last, 15 minutes or so. And that'll do it for this time. Have a great festival, whether you're coming in 2026 or years beyond.